What's up, guys? Hope you're all doing well during COVID mania. I wanted to put together, this is a little bit different. This isn't a vlog. This is going to be more of a long form insight as to what my workflow looks like when making videos for Urban Movement. Now I'm going to go out on a sidebar here and let you know that we have outsourced a lot of our video editing to Video Husky. If you're not familiar with Video Husky, they are essentially one of these flat rate, I think it's just under $500 a month, unlimited video editing for a month. So as many video edits as you want to send them, as many videos, as many critiques and revisions, and you send them, they knock it out. Essentially, it's a company, they outsource a bunch of editors down in the Philippines. So from the hours of 9 p.m. to, right around like 6 a.m., these guys are working. And they have a really cool project manager type platform called Rike. You go in there, you upload your assets, you give them exactly what you want, you have notes back and forth, you have a project manager and an editor who go back and forth, make sure they get you the right thing. Anyway, long story short, Video Husky has been a lifesaver. When COVID hit, I wasn't too worried at first because this is what I do. I've been shooting, amateur video and editing and things like that. I wasn't too concerned. But the amount of volume that we have to churn out as a micro gym, way beyond what I could do. I could not churn out as much volume as we're doing. And even with these guys, I'm still editing videos for Urban Movement in addition to these guys. So anyway, Video Husky, if you're interested, I've got a link down below. I think it gets you like 20 or 30% off if you're interested in Video Husky. It's an affiliate link. But anyway, I highly recommend it. If you've got the scratch, definitely recommend it because these guys, it'll take you 40 to 60 hours to even learn really good video editing. These guys can take all that off your hands for less than $500 a month. And just so you know, a really good editor could charge up to $160 an hour. Like $160 an hour. And it would take someone an hour just to edit a 5-minute video. So anyway, just for some reference points, but I want to walk you through how I still edit these so that you can go ahead and maybe steal some of my editing flow and utilize it for your own. And wait, one thing. I know as this movie goes on, I'm gonna be hit with a bunch of DMs where it's gonna be like, hey, what is a LUT? Where did you get that title package? How did you make that thing appear? I'm not going through all that stuff. Like, there are so many better people on YouTube who've already made videos on this shit. So if I go through stuff and I say just YouTube it, do it. Do not fucking DM me and ask me for how that happened. Again, even doing this tutorial was a stretch. I'm not a tutorial video guy. This is not like what I do. So I'm stepping outside of my lane a little bit to help you guys and so you can steal some of my workflow and efficiency. But if you've got really intricate questions about it, go to fucking YouTube. Don't ask me. So first things first, the gear, right? This is the question I get asked all the time. What kind of gear you use, what kind of camera, all that. I'm gonna run through it all right now very quickly. Again, it is not the wand, it is the magician. You can get away with your phone or even a shitty camera. Like, you can get away with good audio, you can get away with bad audio. None of that matters, but just here's my gear list. This is just what I use. Do I recommend it? Sure. This is what I'm using. Take it or leave it. For a camera, I'm using a Canon M50. It is a small mirrorless camera. It's an entry-level price, probably in that $600 to $700 range. For a microphone, when we are shooting our Urban Movement videos, I'm using a Rode Wireless Go. Right now, I'm currently using a Rode shotgun microphone for this video, but when we are shooting in the gym due to echo and poor acoustics, we are using a Rode Wireless Go. It is a wireless lav mic. I utilize a tripod. I utilize two 18-inch diameter LED ring lights. Those go ahead and provide better lighting than what even my really expensive fucking LED lights that I have installed in the gym do. This just goes ahead and makes sure that I've got no shadows and everything is lit up really, really well. You can get those off Amazon. For editing, I talked to you about, I've got a new MacBook Pro. I use Final Cut Pro for the editing software. I utilize a 4 terabyte external hard drive, 128 gig SD card, so I never run out of space inside of my camera. And for music, I use artlist.io. That's a subscription service that you can go ahead and pay an annual fee or monthly fee and get all the copyright-free music you want for your videos. So now that we got all the boring gear shit out of the way, let's get into the actual workflow. So before we get into all this, I need to probably talk about the 3 kinds of videos we're really seeing out there. There's live broadcasting, there is video conferencing, either one-to-many or one-to-one, and then there's on-demand. And then when you get into on-demand, which is what we're focusing on here, and the reason being is for my company, we believe on-demand creates the best product out there. It has the highest quality, it's gonna have the most consistent experience for the end user, and it's gonna be the one that's gonna allow me to run a remote revenue stream once this is all over, our doors are back open, and now we have an additional vertical of income outside of the brick and mortar. But within On Demand, there's essentially 3 kinds of videos that I recommend you make for your, streaming workout videos. The first one is an express workout. That's what I'll be showing you that I'm editing today. And an express workout is pretty simple. It's a coach in front of a camera saying, hey guys, how you doing? Here's today's workout. I'm gonna go ahead and take you through the points of performance, coach you through it. I might demonstrate a round or two so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like, pick up some pacing tips, whatever it may be. And now you go knock it out, let us know how it goes. And that essentially is an express video. Pretty plain, pretty simple, easy to shoot, easier to edit. And it's the one at Urban Movement that we have found that our members like the most. Now the other 2 kinds are full length and then what I call cherry picking. And full-length videos are exactly what you'd imagine. They should literally encapsulate everything you would do within your 60-minute class. Whether there's a warm-up and a coaching piece and a strength piece and a workout and a cool-down, whatever pieces you have, that is 60-minute video, that full-length one, should embody that entire thing. They're obviously a pain in the ass to edit. They take 3 times longer. They're difficult. We're currently at Urban Movement only doing 2 full-length, 6 express, and then doing 3 cherry picking. That's the third kind. The cherry picking is where we're coming up with workouts and specific topics that might not necessarily fit exactly what we do inside of Urban Movement, but we know our members are bored. We know they might have interest right now, and this is a time for them to indulge. They might be doing a couple workouts a day, so we're coming up with upper body strength workouts. We're coming up with core ab workouts. We're just doing stretching and, yoga deep stretch workouts. We might even do some running workouts. And we're just coming up with these cherry picking where people are just picking what they want because we want this to become Netflix. We're utilizing Studio by the guys over at Flex to house all of our media and create a nice consolidated place for everyone to go and access this content. And we know that Studio is going to become like Netflix for our remote workout services. And we want to have everything possible there for people to scroll through and pick based on the mood, based on what's sore, what's not, what they want to hit. Just like you would go on the Netflix, just be like, what the fuck am I going to watch today? That's what we want with Studio, and that's why we have the cherry picking workouts as the third type that we create. But again, today I'm gonna be taking you guys through an express workout edit and how I go through that workflow. So first off, you gotta do your shoot. And I'm not going through how to shoot the video. I'm doing another video and a piece of content on that with Ryan Weber Marketing. He is a former gym owner, a buddy of mine, local here in Charlotte, North Carolina. He has shot video for me in the past, and we are gonna walk through the ins and outs of how to shoot video. But wait for that video, that is not this one. But once you've shot it and you got your raw footage, this is what you do with it. So the first thing we need to do here is what I call a footage dump or an SD dump. You need to get all the footage off your scan disk onto your computer. So we're gonna go ahead, insert your scan disk into your computer. Go ahead, I've got this one here. And this is not the footage we're editing today. This is just what I have on here as an example. But look, here's a bunch of footage. This is what I'm gonna need to go ahead and input into Final Cut Pro. Here's a bunch of footage we shot. Great, cool. So here's all my raw footage. All the footage you've shot, there it is. And now we need to go ahead and get in Final Cut Pro. So we'll go ahead, open up Final Cut Pro. And here it goes. And it's going to open up to the last project you are using currently. Before we get into the editing, guys, the very first thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and organize our files on our external hard drive. Okay, that's going to make this whole process way easier. So open up your external hard drive. This is mine right here. This is number 6 that I've been on in the past probably 8 months. It's a 4 terabyte one. And then here's my folders that I've created. I've got my Urban Movement folder, Movement Anywhere. And then these are the ways we're categorizing some of the videos that we've been shooting. For this is our Lift and Move 2.0. And here are all the finished product videos we've done. And then here's a folder I create called Raw Clips. This is just where I dump raw clips straight from my SD card, dump them onto this folder. And here we go. And there's a bunch up here currently. Boom. We'll go knee bit. Still on your cool. Back. So there's some footage right there. Okay, we'll just go ahead and we'll just utilize this stuff as well. And I'm gonna go ahead, open my SD card. I'm gonna go ahead and grab those media files right here, drag them over to my raw clips folder, drop them right in there. It's gonna load. This shit I think is showing that it's gonna take 3 minutes. Let's fast forward through that. All right, so there we go. Here is all my footage that I need in my raw clips folder. And now we're gonna kick back over here to Final Cut Pro. We're gonna go ahead here and we're gonna go up to File, New, and you're gonna go to Event. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and call this event whatever it is you're gonna call your shit. And let's just say it's gonna be like CrossFit ABC, and these are gonna be your remote workouts. Perfect. That's gonna be your event. And under that event, which we see got created right here, you're gonna have projects, and then all your projects will be listed here. Very similar to if you look at my project here, this is MVMNT Anywhere. Once I click that, here's all the different projects we've worked on, which are separate videos, okay? So let's go to yours, and here it is, and you're gonna go ahead and give it a title. So let's go ahead and just say you're gonna call this your, remote mecon, whatever the fuck you're gonna call this whole thing. There it is. And now we just need to dump that footage in here. So we go back to where all your footage is, you're gonna grab it and you're gonna drop it in. Now this process here is the bitch of this whole thing. Okay, this is what takes for fucking ever. And what you'll find, guys, is if you click on this guy up here, this is showing what happens in the background tasks. You click on it, this box pops up. And this box is gonna show you what is happening, how long it's taking. And depending on how much RAM your computer has and what else you got running in the background, this process can take hours. There are times where I import a fuck ton of footage and I do an SD dump and I just start it up at night and I let it happen all overnight, and then I wake up in the morning and it's all ready to go. But right now, if I try to go down and start editing all this, it's gonna be choppy and fucked up because the system is trying to get all those gigabytes of footage into Final Cut Pro. So we're gonna go ahead and fast forward through all this. I'm gonna go ahead and take you to a project that I have already done, that I've already created, and kind of walk you through what that looks like. So here we are. We've gone ahead and we'll assume that you've dumped your footage into your timeline here for your project. And I went ahead and created a project here for you guys called Workout Flow Demo. And that's what we're looking at here. I've got my Workout Flow Demo. I've dropped footage into it. And now this is how I go about the editing process. First things first is you're always shooting way more than you need, and you always have fuck ups and things like that. And you need to be able to go ahead and migrate through this and what we call scrub your footage. You need to get rid of all the ums and the uhs and the oh fucks and what was my line and whatever the hell else messed up during the recording. So you'll go through this. You'll start scrubbing footage, you'll clip here, you'll start cutting footage and shortening stuff and getting rid of things that don't go together. And next thing, before you know it, you've cut a ton of this footage, you've shortened it, you've scrubbed through it, you've listened to where the good audio is, the bad audio, whatever you don't want in there, you've gotten rid of. And by the very end of this thing, you've got your final version of what this looks like. And here we go. So here's our video. It's gonna be 6 minutes and 46 seconds long. I've scrubbed all the fuck ups out of this thing, all the ums, all the times when Deuce had to turn and ask me questions about the workout or whatever it may be. This is all the good footage, the final footage I want to end up for my members to consume. Now from here, we want to go ahead and we want to start putting some overlays on, and this is what I call constant overlays. Now, a constant overlay are graphics or elements that are going to stay consistent from the beginning to the end of the video. So for example, I always like to go ahead and have my Urban MVMNT logo located right here. Now again, I've got this saved in here. All you guys would do is open up wherever your logo files are and you drop it in here into the timeline. Just drag and drop. It's really easy. So I'm going to go ahead and drag that logo across. Boom, and we can see it's way too big, so I want to go ahead and scale it. If you come on over here, and again, this is where this is the YouTube part. You need to still go learn Final Cut Pro because I'm not here to teach you Final Cut Pro. I'm here to show you my workflow. But I'm going to come on over. I'm going to scale this thing down to 20% of its size. Bingo. And there we go. Now I've got a nice small Urban MVMNT logo, and I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to move this thing into the top corner. Awesome. So now I've got the logo there. We also go ahead and we utilize 3 styles of classes, and we have 3 unique typographies for that. And this is going to be, let's say it's a build workout. I'm going to drop that guy in here. I'm going to stretch it across the entire movie because, again, it is one of those constants. I'm going to go ahead and take the scale. I'm going to take that down to 25%. And I'm going to take that guy. I'm going to go ahead and just shove it in the corner as well. So you guys will go ahead and you'll figure out the aesthetic that you like for your videos and the icons and the graphics wherever you want. And then these are just constants, all right? They're just the ones that are always going to live here. The other thing I like to do is some color correcting. If you go ahead and you really get into depths in the rabbit holes of this and YouTube tutorials, you'll get really down a rabbit hole. But essentially, we go ahead and slap on this thing called an adjustment layer. And I'll go ahead, I'm going to stretch this guy out the entire way, and then we're going to add what we call a custom LUT. A LUT stands for look up table. Essentially what a LUT does, it takes the different colors of your video and it arranges them in a way to make it look less shitty and make it look better. These are all the different custom LUTs I've downloaded. I like to use this one, and I take it and I fuck with the color a little bit until I get it to right where I like it, and boom, that's good. That's good enough. It makes it look like Deuce isn't completely pasty, but it puts a little light on and makes it less dark. And again, custom LUT, YouTube that shit. So now I have my constant overlays. I've got the logo, I've got the style of workout, and I have my custom LUT on there to give me a better color profile. And now we're going to go and start adding these variable overlays. Variable overlays are going to be things like the graphics and the titles, and if you're going to put the workout on the screen and maybe a stopwatch or whatever the fuck is going to happen, it's going to change up every single workout. And those variable overlays, that's where all the time is spent in this. That's where all the time takes, is in the variable overlays, the variable titles and graphics. And essentially what that ends up looking like once you've done them all, it'll look like this. So here's a video with Deuce that we shot, and you guys can see there's my logo file as it goes through. There's the other file for the build for the type of workout. Here's that adjustment layer I was talking about. And then here's all these variable overlays. You guys can see this as it goes down, all these different ones in here that I've had to go ahead and plug through. And essentially what that does is stuff like this.
The lift is going to be 5 sets of 8 dumbbell plank pull-throughs. You are then going to follow that up with 8 lateral lunges and then 8 front raises.
So you get an idea. It kind of has a little disappearing in, disappearing out. There's a ton of different titles and stuff you guys can download for Final Cut Pro. With titles, Final Cut Pro already comes with a lot of them. If you come in and you click titles at the top over here, you'll be able to see a ton of them. I've already, I've downloaded a fuck ton additional, but there's a lot of basic ones that it comes with that you can utilize. They have some cool titles that come in and out, all that kind of stuff. The other thing we utilize besides titles are going to be what we call callouts. This is a callout.
Out those arms, you're then going to reach the right arm underneath, grab that dumbbell, pull it to the right side, plant the right hand.
You get the idea. It goes ahead and it gives some coaching cues as the workout goes on. And you can get all kinds of custom callouts with custom colors, things way fancier than this. You can adjust the logo or the font and all that good shit. The colors, the size, all of it. So guys, this is essentially where all your time is going to be spent, is making these fancy little custom callouts if you want to get fancy with it, or maybe you just want to go ahead and you want to have these fancy little, titles come across the screen and all that stuff. The fancier you get, the more time it takes. But at the end of this entire thing, when it's all said and done, you've got yourself a full movie with great editing, to whatever level you want. If you want to get very, very fancy, you can start getting crazy with things like custom timers. You can see here, Deuce has got this custom timer going on in the background. Again, just Google, YouTube this shit. I'm going to go ahead and turn the music on real quick. So you can go ahead and see we've got copyright music. Again, we get that from artlist.io, and he goes ahead and knocks out the workout. I spent a fucking hour editing this goddamn thing, and there we go. We've got a video for Urban MVMNT's MVMNT Anywhere. And when it's all said and done, we go ahead, we save a hard copy to the external hard drive, and then we go ahead and we send it right to YouTube, right to the playlist. And that's where the rest of this workflow comes in. So here we are, we get to YouTube, and you need to go ahead to your YouTube studio for your business account. Go to videos, and now we're where all the uploading and editing is all going to happen. And so we have titles for all this stuff. As you can see, it's pretty consistent. We go ahead and we put in description in the workout, just a quick little one-off description. We put in what the workout is, and we create a custom thumbnail. I'll get into thumbnails in a second, but this is where we upload the video. Make sure it's unlisted. That way the only people with a link can get to it. Make sure that the playlist that you upload it to is also unlisted, and you're good to go. Now, let's go ahead and talk about creating a thumbnail. The thumbnail, let's go back to here real quick. This is what a thumbnail is, and this is why it's so goddamn important. Look at all these different thumbnails. And I would go ahead and say that Sydney Cummings is probably the best in the fucking game from a thumbnail perspective. And this woman, she makes a killer killer living being a YouTube fitness influencer. But look at them. They're very clear to see, they're bright, they're loud, but they're just consistent. A 40-minute fat burning hit, a 30-minute fat burning hit, a 30-minute fat burning hit, a 30-minute thighs and butt, a 30-minute, like it's all consistently done over and over and over. You've got to make the YouTube titles in here very searchable in my opinion. For those of you CrossFitters that want to get in and be like, we have a chipper with box jumps, hang power cleans, and rope climbs, and an ascending ladder of blah, whatever. Like, it's not going to fit. No one searches for that shit on the internet. You're going to want a more generic, general thumbnail and video description. And the other reason why, especially if those of you guys are going to be using Studio, it is going to help in your searchability as you use Studio to be a revenue generator later on. Now, when it comes to creating thumbnails, let's go to Canva. So here we are in my Canva account. Essentially, we're just going to go to create design, and you're going to go down to YouTube thumbnail. Select YouTube thumbnail, and here we go. You'll upload some images. You'll see I already have a bunch of images already uploaded here. Here's one I've got of Deuce. I'm gonna bring it right over. There we go. And where did I get this image from? Let's go back to Final Cut Pro. Whenever you are hovering over in your timeline here, any element of the video, and you like an image of where it's at, let's say I really like this spot right here. It's got the workout on it. Deuce is making a funny fucking face. I'm like, that looks great. I go to the top here, and I can go to Save Current Frame. And it'll allow me to go ahead and save this as a PNG, an image file, and use that to create a thumbnail. So we go ahead and you've saved that image. You go back to your Final Cut Pro. You go back to Canva, and here you are. You drop it in here, and just, guys, go grab your text. Do whatever it is you're going to do with it. Make it real big. You know, this could be your whatever, your upper body strength and conditioning workout. I don't care, whatever you want to call it. Rotate that shit. Put some color behind it. Make it big. Whatever you want to do with it, guys. Mess around with your thumbnails. Again, you can YouTube this, how to make killer fucking thumbnails, and there'll be 1,000 people who've made awesome videos on how to make thumbnails that pop. We've gone with a really simple layout with Urban's, but again, use your own, run it through your branding machine. And then the final part is getting it uploaded to Studio. So once you have your YouTube videos all loaded and they're living here on YouTube, because that's what's going to house your videos is YouTube. What's going to distribute them, at least for me, and hopefully you jump on board as well, is Studio. So you go to your Studio, and again, I'm not going to show you how to create an account. You contact the guys at Studio for that, but this is the Studio login for Urban Movement, and this is my admin. You'll go ahead, you'll go to admin at the top, and we'll go ahead. I've got my class types here. I'll add a new Studio class. It's very simple, and in here I choose my class type. We're going to do a lift and move, call the class title, maybe I call it body, full body and core, class duration, blah, 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 YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, my job is not, I don't want to fucking teach you guys how to use Studio. Joe already did that. He's got a video. Go to their Instagram, at Studio by Flex on Instagram, and he'll walk you through all this. But essentially now, all my shit lives in this really nice, clean, media powerhouse, Netflix-like, where people are able to go ahead and start looking at my lift workouts, or maybe they go look at all my lift and move workouts, and they want to just go ahead and kind of fish through these things and do different workouts. They can see how long the workout takes, they get these descriptions, and then they can take the class. Once they take the class, it's awesome. The workout loads right there. I've got our class notes. They're able to log it into their workbook. They're able to put discussions, and it becomes a fully interactive, membership engaging platform. Free, by the way, fucking free by the awesome people at Flex. And that's essentially it. That's my workflow. That's how I go ahead and take the footage from the shoot to my computer. I organize it. I get it in the Final Cut Pro. That's the order in which I'm thinking of editing, with my constant layovers and graphics to my variable ones. Clean it all up, upload it to YouTube, YouTube it to Flex and Studio, and get it to my members. And that's it. That's my workflow. I hope this has helped you guys out to give you a little bit of insight to this whole thing. If you have any questions of how to use all the things in here, don't ask me. Like, do not fucking send me the DM. I love you to death, but do not fucking send me that DM. Stop being a lazy piece of shit and go to YouTube like everybody else. And let me tell you guys something. When I first started using Final Cut Pro, I probably watched 20 hours of tutorials to get even close to being halfway decent at it. So take your time, utilize the free resources that are out there, educate yourself using YouTube and other online resources, and get better at this new craft. Because the world is fucking moving without you, whether you're on board or not, and it will leave you the fuck behind if you don't pick up the fucking ball on this. COVID-19 showed up and it's fucking horrible, but I'll tell you this right now, I kind of like her. I kind of like this bitch because she's forcing us all to be where we should have been 5 years ago. 5 years ago, we should have started doing this, and we didn't because we were comfortable in brick and mortar land. And the economy's been dope, and you know, boutique fitness is the biggest booming thing in brick and mortar. And then this showed up, kicked us all in the fucking teeth, and now we got to pivot. And I'm not gonna lie, I fucking like it. I like it for that aspect. So guys, I hope this helped. Any comments outside of this, or my workflow, whatever, comment down below. And yeah, I'll see you next time.